Now we see the fundamentals. What is company? How a company is incorporated? What are the requirements of incorporation? Then what are the different kinds of company? There is a difference between the definition of company given in 1956 Act and the definition given in 2013 Act. Difference is only by words, in substance one and the same. In 1956 Act, company was defined as a company formed and registered under the Act or an existing company. Then existing company has been defined as a company which was incorporated and any of the previous company law. Then previous company has been defined. Whereas in 2013 Act, company has been defined as a company incorporated under this Act or under any previous company law. That means the previous company law has been defined and existing company has not been defined. Any previous company law includes Indian Companies Act 1866, Indian Companies Act 1882, Indian Companies Act 1913, Registration and Transferred Companies Ordinance 1942, Companies Act 1956, and any of the corresponding law or act or ordinance in force similar to the above acts. Now, before you go into the detail, I want you to understand the meaning between act and ordinance, because Registration of Transferred Companies Ordinance 1942, the word is coming here. Can anyone tell me what is ordinance? Okay. Your understanding is not fully correct, but ordinance is a temporary law. Agreed. We can't say as a law. Ordinance is an executive order. That's why it is called ordinance. Ordinance. Ordinance is passed by president for the whole country, governor for the respective state. Ordinance can be issued only on the recommendation or advice of the cabinet headed by a prime minister for the whole of the country and the cabinet headed by the chief minister for the respective state. Ordinance so issued will remain in force only for a period of 6 months. During the 6 months period, ordinance will have the same effect as a law duly passed by parliament. Within the 6 month period, if the ordinance is placed before the parliament as a bill and the parliament gives its approval for that, we call it ratification. And when parliament gives approval, it becomes act and it is continuous. Suppose parliament does not give its approval or ordinance is not placed before the parliament at all for approval, then ordinance will cease to have its effect. In either case, whatever has been done during the 6 month period will remain as legally enforceable act. Fine? Therefore, ordinance is an executive order issued by the president for the whole country. One example is the emergency ordinance which was issued. Bank takeover ordinance, it was issued 1969. Many ordinances have been issued like that. Ordinance can be issued only when parliament is not in session. And matter is of such an urgent nature, it can't be postponed to the next session of parliament. In those circumstances, ordinance can be issued. So I want every one of you to be very clear about that. When you read your taxation paper, you will find a lot of ordinances there. There you should not blink. Now, we go one by one. What is company? Now you take down section 2. Subsection 20, company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. Section 2, subsection 67 explains what do you mean by previous company law. Previous company law means any of the following laws specified below. 1. Indian Companies Act 1866. 2. Indian Companies Act 1882. 3. Indian Companies Act 1913. 4. Registration of Transferred Companies Ordinance 1942. 5. Indian Companies Act 1956. If you don't include these companies under this legislation, then all these companies will not be recognized as a company under 2039. Imagine, company means a company formed and registered under this act. If there is a full stop, under any previous company law is missing, then all the company which were incorporated prior to 13th August 2013 will become not companies. That is the reason why you find the existing company, previous company law is there. One example I tell you, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was established in Act of Parliament under the Act called Chartered Accountants Act 1949. This Act came into force from 1st July 1949. And when we say 1st July 1949, Institute has come into existence, obviously the Chartered Accountant will be there only after, immediately you don't have a Chartered Accountant. Because 1/7/1949, Institute has come into existence. The Institute has to enroll the students and conduct the examination for them, declare result and enroll them as a member. It will take minimum 4 years, yes or no? At least 3 years. In those days, article period was 4 years, therefore minimum 4 years. So, you can have Chartered Accountant only from the year 1953 onwards. Correct? Institute was formed when? 1/7/49. Then Institute has to enroll the student, train them, article declare, hold them exam, and some of them will pass the exam, then enroll them. Latest Chartered Accountant can be only from 1953, not earlier, yes or no? But you have Chartered Accountant as on 1/7/1949 itself. How it was possible? Institute was born on 1/7/1949. Chartered Accountants are there on 1/7/1949. They are the members of the same institute. How it could be possible? Because prior to 1949, 1/7/1949, there were registered accountants. There were registered accountants. And they passed the examination called GDA, Government Diploma in Accountancy. Those who passed the Government Diploma in Accountancy registered themselves as accountants, registered accountants. They were automatically admitted as a members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on payment of 30 rupees. They need not pass CPT, Ipcc, orientation, ITT, final, GMCS, preliminary, GMCS, nothing was required. The reason was, if you say these are all the chartered accountant, registered accountant cannot be chartered accountant, but they enjoy the same power, same privileges of a chartered accountant under a different act. After passing the GDA, they were registered accountant for income tax purpose, government audit purpose, they were all recognized. Therefore, recognition was given. So, that is the same reason a company was incorporated in 1956. It is a company. If you don't recognize, 2013 simply says company means a company incorporated under this act. That's all. That means even the Tata company, TVS company, all company will not become company at all. To give legal recognition to those companies which were in existence even 100 years back. That's why starting from, actually previous company law means there is any company law which was in existence with reference to India prior to 1866, then 1866, 1882, 1913, 1942, 1956. Last one, any law corresponding to any of the aforesaid acts, A capital letter, A small letter is there. Any act corresponding to any of the aforesaid acts or ordinance applicable to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Portuguese Commercial Code and Sikkim. These are called the previous company law. This is a definition of company. Fine. Now, I tell you how the company is incorporated. What is the procedure? The procedure is, there is no need to file an application form physically along with the documents. Now, by electronic filing, you can form a company. Very easy for forming a company today. For that purpose, the step 1, the persons who are interested in forming a company, the persons who are interested in forming a company, they have to first apply for digital signature. Digital signature can be obtained from some of the certifying agency like a TCS and other companies. They are all authorized under the Information Technology Act to give digital signature. For that, you will have to pay a fee. I think it is 1600 rupees currently, valid for 1 year only. And digital signature is different from your signature. It is not scanned signature. Digital signature, which is appearing on your hall ticket, you have downloaded. That is not. That is only scanned signature. Digital signature is a number. All the emails which you are digitally signed will have a symbol. The symbol, if it is not there, email is not digitally signed. The digital signature, the person, the authority which is giving you the signature, they will give you two passwords. Two key. One is called public key, other is called the private key. Private key is your own password. But with the use of public key, if they click the symbol, they will know the certificate whether it is digitally signed or not. Because you are going to file the document with the registrar of company for incorporation company. All the documents should be signed. Since you are submitting the document, you are required to submit for electronically only today. Therefore, it should be electronically signed. That e-signature is called digital signature. Therefore, the promoters of the company should have digital signature, number one. Number two, at least 2%, minimum 2 in the case of private company, they must have a director identification number. They call it DIN, D-I-N, director identification number. They should apply in the prescribed form DIN 1 and pay the prescribed fee, 1000 rupees, then get the DIN. DIN can be obtained by anybody. You can also apply, I can also apply, keep a DIN number. So tomorrow when you are admitted as appointed as a director of the company, you should have a ready-made DIN number. Therefore, it is like your SRO number. It is allotted to everybody, whoever applies. Only thing is they want some professional qualification, because tomorrow you will become independent director. Something I tell you more about that when I take corporate governance. So DIN number is a must. Digital signature a must. Then third step is name approval. Which name of the company, which name you are going to choose for the company. For that, earlier they call it name approval, 1956 Act. This 2013 Act says reservation of name. Reservation of name. You will have to apply in the prescribed form with the prescribed fee. And name will be reserved for a period of 60 days. Within 60 days, you are supposed to form a company. If it is not possible, you can again apply and get the reserved name continued. Up to continuation is possible up to 1 year. There is a provision for the extension of the name approval. This is called, you will have to reserve the name, so that when you block the name, this name will not be applicable to anybody else till the period is over. Either that original period or extended period is over. Within that period, you will have to form the company. Now, you will have to prepare a memorandum of association, articles of association. How to prepare memorandum, how to prepare article, that depends upon the nature of the company which you are forming. If you form a public company, there is a format. Whether it is private or public, there is a format. Whether company limited by share, or company limited by guarantee, or company limited by share as well as guarantee, or company unlimited company, or unlimited company limited by share, or unlimited company limited by guarantee. Like that, you will have to form a company with a reference to the liability. Accordingly, there is a format. Table A, Schedule 1 of the Companies Act gives table. Table A, Table B, Table C, Table D, Table E for memorandum. And the articles continues. There is slight change from both the Act. So you will have to pick up the particular table which is applicable. For example, you want to form a company limited by shares. Table A, Schedule 1 is applicable. Prescribed format. Table I is applicable for articles. Prepare a article according to the format. The format, etc., I will discuss when I take respective document, memorandum and articles. So, you will have to, the promoters have to frame memorandum association, articles association. They must sign, each subscriber must sign the document. In the memorandum, they must also indicate the number of shares they are going to subscribe. That also they must indicate. They write their name and sign digitally. Second, a declaration shall be filed. Who has to sign the declaration? An advocate, or a chartered accountant, or a cost accountant, or company secretary engaged in the formation of company, the declaration should be signed by any one of them along with the manager or the secretary or a director who is going to be their first director manager in the company. They must sign it. The proposed director or proposed manager, proposed secretary should sign the declaration. Then, third, an affidavit will be signed by each of the subscribers of the memorandum stating that he has not been guilty of any offence. There is no misconduct on his part as on the date of signing. Affidavit shall be signed. I'll tell you what is an affidavit also. And he must also say that he has not been prosecuted for any offence. That kind of affidavit should be signed. Then, the address of the office, temporary address, where the office is going to be located, correspondent purpose, because you can't have a registered office under the company formed. Only after the formation of the company, you will have a registered office. The memorandum of association registered office clause is there. That does not indicate the address. That only mentions the name of the state in which the registered office of the company is going to be situated. It only mentions the name of the state, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra, like that. It does not specify the address. Therefore, temporary address for the correspondent purpose that should be given. Then, the person who is going to be the first director of the company, in the memorandum they will notify he is the first director. Then that person's residential address, his PAN number and his full identity shall be given. These are all the documents which, whatever the document the promoters are submitting to the ROC for registration, copies of all the documents should be put in a file form, kept in the registered office company permanently till the company is wound up. It should be there. Now, in between I was telling you affidavit. Anybody knows what is affidavit? It is a self-declaration. If the self-declaration is given in a white paper, listen. If a self-declaration is given in a white paper, there is a chance for you to rebut the declaration stating that I was not in the mood when I signed. My signature obtained later on declaration they have written. It is not my signature. I have not read the content. I was not in a position to read the content. There was negligence on my part in signing. All these things you try to plead ignorance, innocence of the thing. That may be with the circumstance it can be avoided. Okay, you may be successful saying that. That's why this kind of they don't want a declaration. They want affidavit. Affidavit is nothing but your own self-declaration only, but that is being given before a magistrate or a notary public. As I told you, in NI Act, when noting and protest, it should be done before public notary, so that the court will assume the instrument has been dishonored. Similarly, when the self-declaration has been given before a public notary, there is a presumption that you are with the full conscience, you are signing the declaration before the notary. Later on, you cannot say, I have not given. If the affidavit contains false information, the person who declarant, who deponent, who deposed, who declared, who gave the declaration is liable for prosecution. Long back in one civil case, in one criminal case in Kerala High Court, one of the ministers gave a affidavit. Later on, the affidavit turned to be false. Court immediately said, you are given a false information, you are committing offence of perjury. Perjury means giving wrong information to the court. And the minister had no other good than to resign. He lost his job, ministership. Therefore, that is a grave thing is there in affidavit. So that kind of affidavit should be given. The affidavit stating that declaration says all the particulars given in memorandum article, other declared all true and fair to the best of my knowledge and belief, all requirements of the Companies Act for incorporation have been filled up, complied with. That is declaration. Affidavit means I have not been guilty of any misconduct. I have not been prosecuted for any offence. That is affidavit sworn before notary. Now, if the promoters of the company or any person who is connected with the formation of the company gives a false information, knowingly gives misrepresentation, or there is a error in the declaration, sworn declaration, or it has been given with a fraudulent motive, then he is liable for punishment under section 447. Last class I mentioned you about section 447. 447 gives a liability for fraud. What is the liability? Imprisonment minimum 6 months, minimum 2 years if the fraud involves public interest. If the fraud does not involve public interest, then minimum 6 months, maximum 10 years, and that means plus fine. Minimum amount involved in the fraud up to 3 times of the amount involved in the fraud. That is. Now, in addition to that, I want you to understand very, very clearly the difference between Section 7, which deals with incorporation and 2013 Act, Section 35, which deals with incorporation under 1956 Act. Certificate of incorporation given under Section 35 of the 1956 Act is a conclusive evidence that all the requirements have been fulfilled. Even the registrar cannot cancel the certificate of incorporation. That is the reason why they used to say even atom bomb cannot destroy a company. But today, the tribunal has got power to cancel the certificate of incorporation if the promoters or if the incorporation of the company has been got in a fraudulent manner, suppressing any material information or committing any fraudulent act or giving some misrepresentation knowingly, deliberately, then the tribunal, after giving an opportunity to the company, even the company incorporated and company is going concern, after going into the transactions of the company, and if they feel that there is a ground for taking action against the company, then the tribunal got power to direct the company in public interest as well as in the interest of the company. Regulation of the memorandum association, regulation of the articles association, that means change the memorandum, change the article, change the board of director complex, etc., or to make the liability members unlimited liability, or the company should be wound up, or any other action or decision or direction that tribunal may deem fit under those circumstances. Therefore, unfettered powers have been given National Company Law Tribunal to deal with the fraudulent motive for incorporating the company can be dissolved, whereas in 1956 Act, ABCDEF, they formed a company for the purpose of dealing with the sugar. They have written for the purpose of dealing with the brown sugar of that class. These are registered it. Company has been formed. Can the registrar later on can say, oh, I never see brown sugar. I thought brown sugar, the country sugar. Now they are different. You should not do that. Yes. But he cannot cancel the certificate of incorporation. Company can be prohibited from carrying on business because the object is unlawful. Change your object, go ahead with the incorporation. Otherwise, incorporation, they will not allow. But registrar has no power to take it back. 7 people form a public company. Out of the 2 are major, 5 are minor. Minor members are represented by a guardian sign for all the 5 members. Registrar registered it. Company has been formed. Is incorporation valid? Answer is yes. 1956 Act. Today, tribunal has got power to direct the company, convert into private company, or add another 5 people. Otherwise, you cannot do it. They will give time. If you don't do that, dissolve the company. That power is there in the tribunal. That is the basic difference of incorporation between 2013 Act and 1956 Act. Okay, take down.